First, for the first time, we are getting a look at a local town devastated by wildfire. A monumental windstorm kicked up flames across the region, causing heartbreak and power outages.
Live at this moment, we're following several major fires. This is a live look from the Santiam Pass. At times during the day, the view from this spot looked like night.
And local, unreal views from local areas. No, this isn't a sunrise. It's in the middle of the day. The sky has been cast an orange color as smoke swirls in the air. The 4 o'clock news starts now. And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here for the 4 o'clock news. I'm Wayne Garcia.
And I'm Nora Hart. A lot to cover right now as evacuations are underway. And at this point, we know at least 3 people have been hurt by fires in Oregon. We want to give you a first look from Air 12. This is a live view this afternoon. The view from one of the areas evacuated today, the popular Hag Lake in Washington County. You can see active flames, lots of smoke. Several people there were visiting just for the holiday weekend.
Yeah, we can't even fly over some of the hardest hit spots over Santiam Pass right now because the air quality is affecting visibility. So we'll keep track on that. As soon as we can get our chopper to that area, we'll show you. But in the meantime, this is that fire burning near Hag Lake. The view is almost unbelievable in Marion County right now, somewhat reminiscent of the eclipse a few years ago. The county has declared a state of emergency because of wildfires, as 2 major ones we've been watching in the Santiam Pass, Beachy Creek and Lions Head fires, could soon come together as one. Many spots along Highway 22 are now under level 3 evacuations, which include areas around Detroit Lake. To the west in the Coast Range, 2 rare major fires off Highway 18 are also forcing evacuations. Lincoln County has declared a state of emergency as well.
We showed you that live look at Hag Lake, but this area is now closed. There's a press conference happening. We're monitoring that, and we'll make sure to bring you the very latest on any new information. But people there are being told to leave the area around Southwest Dundee Road in the town of Cherry Grove. Forest Grove Fire says 2 single-engine air tankers are taking water from the lake to douse the flames.
And of course, we have crews all over the area covering this for you. Fox 12 Chief Meteorologist Mark Nelson is one of those standing by here in the studio. We also have crews spread out across the area.
Let's get to Fox 12's John Hendricks, who's in Staten right now. John, the scene behind you is just unbelievable.
It's been incredible to see all day long. It has been like this in the Staten Sublimity area and much of the Santiam Canyon most of the day with that orange sky. At times, you couldn't even see the sun. It did lift for a little bit, but it has settled back in here for the evening. Want to give you a look at what we have been watching here. That fire burning to the east of where we are right now. We want to get you to some video that we shot from about 10:30 this morning at the road closure here at Highway 22 and Cascade Highway. The highway is closed from here in Staten all the way to Santiam Pass. That's some 70+ miles. We also have some other video to share with you as well. This from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. It shows what firefighters were up against along Highway 22 in Mill City overnight. We have heard reports that several businesses have been lost as well as homes, but we haven't been able to get an official count or anything like that from firefighters. Fire crews are not exactly sure on the extent of the damage because it is still too dangerous to go in and look. We do know today fire crews were working to rescue and evacuate people from the Santiam Canyon. Some of the crews fighting those fires yesterday had to be rescued themselves. We spoke with a woman who lives outside of Staten. She had evacuated this morning as flames crept closer and closer to their property.
There's always fires over there and down there and, over there. But yeah, this is like in the backyard now. And it didn't hit me till about 4:30 this morning when my husband went and looked and said, yeah, the fire's just down there. And it was like, okay, it's time to go. It's just time to go.
Now here in Staten and just down the road in Sublimity, those communities remain on a level 2 evacuation notice this evening. Now I want to bring you back out here live tonight just to kind of show you this evening sky. Do keep in mind that it is a 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and if you can kind of hear it, I don't know if you can pick it up through our microphone, but the crickets are chirping in the water and around the pond that we are by here off Cascade Highway. Now everyone really waiting for this smoke to lift and the weather to calm down to really see what damage has occurred and to try to get life back to normal. Reporting live tonight, John Hendricks, Fox 12 Oregon.
Okay, John, as these fires in the Santiam Canyon grow, a glow can be seen across the area. It's a view that many people are seeing as they flee that area. So where are they going?
Well, many are headed to the Red Cross shelter at the Oregon State Fairgrounds. Fox 12's Kendra Kent is there right now with what's happening. Kendra?
Yeah, that's right, Nora, and it's like a mini town here right now. There are simply hundreds of people who've come to the fairgrounds here seeking either shelter or, perhaps supplies that the Red Cross can help them with. And check out this parking lot behind me. You can see it is packed full with cars, trucks, people with their campers and trailers. Got a steady stream of traffic coming in here. And it went from a hazy orange here to a red, but now it's actually back to orange. So certainly is eerie here in the sky as well in Salem. The Red Cross told me a bit earlier today that they are serving roughly 600 people right now, hoping to help where they can before sending people on their way to stay with friends, family, or possibly even a hotel that would be paid for by the Red Cross. As you can imagine, the pandemic is making things more challenging with a group this big, but we do know some people plan on sleeping here in their campers, RVs, or even in their cars. We spoke to families who are under a level 3 go evacuation notice. They tell us they grabbed what they could and came here. Larry and his wife live in Turner. While the fire hadn't reached their house, they wanted to get out early because they have animals and live on a dirt road that can be tough to navigate at times.
The ash kind of looked like snow a little bit, and then when we came here, I saw maroon smoke behind us. Red sky, dark clouds, that's it.
And many people here are on edge because they don't know if their homes burned in the fire. They're also worried about pets that they had to leave behind when they were in that scramble. Over here, there is a lot of supplies that have been dropped off. I think my photographer there was just showing you. You can see the cases of water that are stacked out. There are a lot of volunteers. We've seen people bringing pet food. However, I do want to mention really quick that the Red Cross says they do not need any supplies from the community at this time. They say if you'd like to help, consider donating money to the Red Cross. Reporting live tonight in Salem, Kendra Kent, Fox 12 Oregon.
Incredible. Okay, thanks, Kendra. Governor Kate Brown is responding as these fast-moving wildfires ramp up and burn across Oregon.
Fox 12's Haley Rush joins us now live in studio with the latest.
Well, the press conference ended just minutes ago with Governor Brown calling the wind and fires a once-in-a-generation event. She and fire officials just spoke, like I said, addressing these wildfires across the state. They say right now the main goal is making sure people evacuate their homes. They reminded people if they're under a level 2 evacuation to start packing now, and level 3, of course, means get out now. They also encouraged people to make sure they're signing up for emergency notifications in their county so they know when to leave their home. The governor and other fire leaders have called these devastating fires historic and a once-in-a-generation event.
Almost every year since becoming governor, I've witnessed historic wildfire seasons. Yet, this is proving to be an unprecedented and significant fire event for our state.
Fire officials could not answer today if anyone has died from the fires or how many people exactly have been hurt. They did say there have been some successful rescue missions, speaking specifically about one going on at the Lions Head Fire. They also wanted to remind people not just fires, but smoke can affect people. They encourage everyone, especially young children and older adults, to evacuate their homes if told to or stay inside because of that smoke. Reporting live in studio, Haley Rush, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Haley, thank you. Just into the newsroom this hour, we've learned of a new fire that sparked in Malino and is forcing people in about 40 to 50 homes to leave. Those homes are between Burns and Graves Roads up to Howard's Mill Road. Clackamas County Sheriff's Office tells us that a transformer blew east of the Malino Airport and caught trees on fire this afternoon. The fire quickly moved up a slope. Firefighters weren't able to reach the fire until power was shut off in the area. Again, right now, people living between Burns and Graves Roads to Howard's Mill Road are under a mandatory evacuation order. And here's where those evacuation orders stand right now. Several communities in the Santiam Canyon area are under level 3 orders. That means go now. They are Detroit, Lyons, Mahama, Mill City, Gates, Idana, North Fork, Brighton Bush, and 214 north of Silver Falls State Park. In Lincoln County, North Deer Valley Road, Yodel Lane, Bank Road, Meadows Place, and Maple Drive are also under level 3 evacuation orders. And at Hag Lake, where firefighters just updated information within the hour, Dundee Road is under a level 3 evacuation order. So are Southwest Patton Valley Road to Cherry Grove Southwest Lee Road and Southwest Cascara Road near Henry Hag Lake. Also, the entire city of Cherry Grove is under level 3 orders.
Late this afternoon, those orders we mentioned, level 3 evacuations issued for part of the Malino area. That includes Burns Road to Graves Road to Howard's Mill Road. And with so many evacuations underway right now, this is something you should probably be aware of. The Office of Emergency Management put out this chart. They say a level 1 means be ready, level 2 means get set to leave at a moment's notice, and level 3 means you need to go, leave now. KPTV.com has the most up-to-date information on evacuation orders, including road closures.
Well, Mark Nelson joins us now. He's going to give us some perspective on what's going on out there.
Yeah, let's give you what's going on right now, and then the biggie is when will the wind stop, because the wind in the dryer has been the huge issue. I've never seen a satellite image like this over northwest Oregon and southwest Washington. This is 10:30 a.m. No clouds on here. This is all smoke from all these different fires. There's the Beachy Creek is the big one there east of Salem. Latest estimate was 130,000 to 150,000 acres. 2 days ago, and I think even early yesterday, it was like 500 acres. So that would imply that 200 square miles burned in the just from that fire in the last day or day and a half. That's just amazing. I mean, that blows away the Eagle Creek fire in the Columbia River Gorge 3 years ago. Then the Holiday Farm fire, lots of residences destroyed, apparently down in the Blue River area east of Eugene. And Lion's Head fire, that actually came over the Cascades last night from the Warm Springs Reservation and is almost combined with the Beachy Creek fire. And then you see one more fire up there at Big Hollow. Now watch, that's at 10:30 a.m. Look just southeast of Portland. Watch what happens in the afternoon. Suddenly a new one pops up. That one is southeast of Estacada. That's the Riverside fire. We're not hearing too much about that yet because so far it's in forested area. But the point is there is just a ton of smoke. It's all visible from radar. Radar can clearly see the smoke plumes. Right now the biggest one is that Riverside fire burning southeast of Estacada and Colton. Obviously, the big issue is the wind. 80 degrees in Portland, actually cool, relatively cool today, but gusts to 40 still. In fact, everybody's getting the wind still at this hour. If we only had wind like in the gorge, wouldn't be as big of a deal, but everybody's getting the wind. Here's a wind gust forecast. Watch what happens. As we go through the nighttime, in the valleys, the wind will calm down some, except maybe right here in the middle of the metro area. But notice Colton, Mill City, foothills of the Cascades, where the fires are going, it's going to continue going. Continues tomorrow, though, it won't be as strong, so we're in this for one more full day. And then here's the good news. On Thursday, you really see the wind backing off by late in the day, and that will be the end of this event. But, boy, just a historic setup here, and we'll talk more about this and compared to some past huge fires as well coming up.
All right, Mark, thank you for keeping us posted. Last night's windstorm took down power lines, and this is a look at where outages are right now. Still pretty busy. Yeah, we're talking tens of thousands of people all over the metro area. Some have been without power since yesterday evening. Pacific Power and Clark Public Utilities are very busy. They ask that customers please stay patient.
Oh, take a look at some of the damage here. Those powerful winds brought down some trees, which also you can see brought down some power lines. Clackamas County was one of the hardest hit areas. In fact, power outages canceled the first day of school in Oregon City, even though the first day was to take place at home. Fox 12's Marilyn Deutsch reports from Oregon City.
Lynn Avenue between Park and Electric closed this morning. This after high winds brought a neighborhood tree crashing down last night, and with it came the power lines. And power outages, which meant no internet, which also meant that students in Oregon City schools couldn't start their remote learning classes today. Students could not get online from their self-styled classrooms at home. The Booker family was one that had no power this morning.
I was going to be downstairs. That's where my desk is.
But instead of starting fifth grade distance learning, Carolyn Booker's daughters were outside riding their wheels. Carolyn jokes that spring break never ended last school year, so it's no shocker that this year summer vacation is extended by a day. If it's not a pandemic causing havoc with local schools, it's a windstorm.
I'm not surprised it's 2020.
It was an odd September wind that blew in hot and dry through the already bone-dry northwest.
We just heard of a big crack in that tree. My neighbor fell over and hit that electrical pole, and then a kaboom, the transformer blew, and there was a bit of a fire that started on the top of the tree.
Nate Loomis lives on Lynn Avenue and was there when his neighbor's tree fell. He was also there to see another neighbor climb on top of his work truck with, luckily, a special fire extinguisher used for electrical fires. And even though another transformer exploded, that neighbor was able to squelch the fire before it spread across the treetops to homes in this heavily wooded neighborhood.
As neighbors, we knocked on each other's doors, made sure we're okay.
With fires so easily ignited right now, neighbors know they're lucky that they and their homes are safe. Meantime, for families like the Bookers, this is one more strange school day in a strange year. But there's always tomorrow. Isabel is looking forward to her first day of kindergarten.
It will be the first day of kindergarten together in the room.
Oregon City schools say school will start tomorrow, online, of course. In Oregon City, Marilyn Deutsch, Fox 12 Oregon.
So as Marilyn just mentioned, Oregon City schools had to cancel classes today because of all the power outages, but it is certainly not the only district to do so. Others include Canby, Jervis, and Molalla River. The Cascade School District had to cancel because fires forced several staff members to have to leave. Oregon Coast Community College was closed because of fires, outages, and highway closures. And Western Oregon University is also closed, but it did not release a reason. Portland Public Schools told us today that they did have concerns about their students learning from home. If they weren't able to get to their online classes due to power, they will not be penalized. In fact, some teachers were not even able to log on. Families should expect to hear from students' schools in those cases. And there was also a similar story in Lake Oswego that warned junior high students that some teachers weren't able to log in either because of power issues.
The 4 o'clock news is just getting started. Still to come, the fires are really doing a number on the air quality in our area. We're checking the numbers to find out where the air could be hazardous to your health.
And we're so thankful for our many viewers who are sending us pictures of what the fires look like across the area. Now throughout the newscast, we are sharing them with you. Welcome back. We're following the very latest on all the wildfires in our area. Let's take a look at this photo of the red sky in Jefferson, northeast of Albany. A viewer shared this with us. He says that he was in that area because he's a FedEx delivery driver. And check out these photos from Enchanted Forest located in Turner. No filter was used on this. The theme park wants to make sure that people know, though, it is not damaged by fire.
Oh, just eerie images. We do have to remember a lot of this has to do with that windstorm. Heavy winds continued to do damage in parts of Portland. Take a look at these pictures sent in by Fox 12 meteorologist Jeff Forgeron. A large branch came crashing down on a home in the city's South Burlingame neighborhood. Wow, the impact damaging the porch and the roof.
Well, back in Salem, it's tough to breathe there. We have shown you these images with orange skies that are pretty eerie to look at.
In some areas, it's almost like the middle of the night. So how is the air quality? It obviously doesn't look good. Let's check in with meteorologist Ann Campolongo to explain.
Right, yeah, we are still seeing major issues as far as air quality goes here across our west side valleys. Keep in mind, too, an air quality alert was put into effect yesterday evening, and that is going through Thursday here. This is all of the yellow colors, or all of the areas included in this yellow shade here. This goes for the coastline, into the Willamette Valley, stretching over towards the Cascades, down into central Oregon. And again, this is mainly because of all of the wildfire smoke that we're seeing out there, and the air quality is really reaching those unhealthy, if not hazardous levels. Let's check out the latest air quality here once we get these sensors to populate here. These darker purples are actually the hazardous category. This is in Salem, down through Corvallis and Albany, reporting very unhealthy air quality there, and that's the same down in Eugene as well. So again, this is where we've seen the thickest smoke pretty much setting up all morning and into the afternoon, so you can see why the air quality is in such a state here. The highest category is the hazardous category there, so that gives you an idea. It's all the way at the top of where the worst air quality is pretty much focused here down in central Oregon. Up here in the metro area, we're pretty much in that single sliver here where we have blue sky. This is through Portland, through the metro area, Forest Grove, Vancouver, and downtown Portland. Still for right now, reporting all good air quality. But keep in mind, if you're down into the central Willamette Valley where that smoke is pretty much just blanketing those areas, make sure to stay inside if you're vulnerable to these conditions. Also, we got a few questions about masks. People already have them, as we know, to protect against COVID, but health experts say that might not be enough. You need to have an N95 respirator mask to really protect you from the smoke. In studio, Ann Campolongo, Fox 12 Oregon.
Good advice. Okay, thanks, Ann. Give you a live look across the Portland area right now. Just last night, we saw a ton of smoke from the same vantage point, but you can see things have clearly changed.
Very, very interesting, Mark, last night to see the smoke move in.
Maybe we can go back to that because I want to show you on that one, if we get a chance. On that one, what's going on here is the big smoke we had yesterday that suddenly arrived, that came out of eastern Washington on those easterly winds. So we have nothing upstream from Portland right now, But we're looking down at fires around Clackamas County. That's out in Clackamas County. We know there have been several fires. There's a big one. Maybe in the distance, the column you see, that might be the Riverside fire southeast of Estacada. But yeah, there's lots of relatively small fires, and we've got these huge conflagrations going on in the west slopes of the Cascades.
We're kind of a narrow band of where we have these clear blue skies, isn't it?
True, totally true right now. And I think that'll change by tomorrow evening. Our models say that smoke from the Beachy fire is going to be moving farther into the metro area. So we may turn really yucky again by tomorrow evening.
Wow, okay.
We'll see. It's always tough to forecast the smoke.
Yeah.
But clearly those fires are not going anywhere, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's just amazing. I've never seen a setup like this. I've been forecasting here 29 years since I got out of college, and I grew up here too. But I've never seen a setup with this kind of fire action west of the Cascades and have it so dry and so windy at the same time. The dryness, not unheard of in the fall or late summer, and the strong wind, not unheard of, but in the Cascade foothills, that's where the wind was really strong, and that's the issue. So east-northeast 20 gusting to 33, that's from our Maryhill family estate and winery camera. Shriners Hospital cam, yeah, you can see some fire action down there in Clackamas County. Gusting to 40 here, and look at that view out at Newport. Breezy east wind, not too strong, just a breeze, but look at that orange glow. All the smoke from the fires in the Cascades actually moving way offshore. Look at the relative humidity go down as we go through the day. Right now it's 11% in Portland, 10% at Tillamook, so there's no reason the coastal range forests can't burn just like the Cascades right now because it is so dry. You see widespread east wind too, gust to 43. If we would have just had a little bit of wind coming through the gorge like typically we might see in September, not as big of a deal, but this is bringing the strong wind to everybody. So with all the power outages, power lines, and we feared this might be the case. Okay, so what happens tonight? Mainly clear. I think the breezes will keep going, but they will back off. Instead of gusts 30 to 40, it'll be like gusts 20 to 30. But cloud rain forecast shows the easterly wind continues tomorrow morning, continues all the way through tomorrow afternoon, although it backs off a bit in the valleys tomorrow afternoon. And then Thursday is the day where things change. In the morning, still a bit of easterly wind, but then look at the southwest cooling wind coming up the coastline. And this is great on Friday. West wind. We're done with the fire weather. And the big news is we think this hot ridge of high pressure, it's going to get out of here. And as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, fall weather showers, maybe 60s and 70s. So Portland, your Wednesday forecast. It's going to be hotter tomorrow, assuming the smoke stays away. We'll go for a high of 93. Just a quick look at the 3-day forecast. We're working on the 7-day, but much warmer these next 2 days into the 90s, and then we'll back off into the 80s Friday and much cooler over the weekend.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Well, as bad as it is here in Oregon, the fires are even worse in California.
Millions of acres have gone up in smoke, and one fire sent a photographer running to escape the flames.
And another live look from Air 12 right now as we follow the very latest on these local fires. This is a view looking toward Malino, where a fire is burning in Clackamas County. Coming up, we're taking a look at some of the major tourist attractions that were closed down today.
Hey, welcome back. Bottom of the hour. We're going to give you a live look right now at Newport, where smoke is in the air. I mean, this is a view we just never see out there.
Right.
2 fires burning along the coast on Highway 18. A lot of smoke is headed out west with those east winds. We can tell you that the Oregon Coast Aquarium is closed, this time because of poor air quality and several downed trees as well. They tell us the tickets will be refunded. The Oregon Zoo also closed today because of high winds. It's a concern because that area is also heavily wooded. If you bought a ticket there, we're told that you'll get an automatic refund. The Oregon Garden down in Silverton is also closed because of fires.
Now, as we watch things here, historic fires continue to burn in California, making it one of the worst seasons ever for the state. Take a look at this. This is video of the Creek Fire, which has burned more than 78,000 acres in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Those flames spread so fast, the photographer actually had to run to safety before those flames got too close. The Creek Fire, along with dozens of others, have scorched more than 2 million acres combined across California. And take a look at this picture. This shows an exhausted firefighter taking a much-needed nap while sitting in a chair. The caption explained that the firefighter worked 26 straight hours in 108-degree heat on the Valley Fire. That one is burning in San Diego County, and this photo shared by Santa Rosa's department shows a fire captain who returned home after 20 days and took a nap on his floor with his dog. Much of California is dealing with triple-digit temperatures right now.
Boy, a popular campground gets evacuated as wildfires move in.
What it was like for campers who got the news and had to move fast.
And before we head to break, another live look from Air 12 here as we get closer to Malino. Still to come, we'll have a look at the dramatic images we've seen from the skies.
Welcome back to the 4 o'clock news. We are tracking historic wildfires that are raging across the state right now. This is actually a live look near Staten where you can see the skies are just blood red. Marion County has declared a state of emergency as the Beachy Creek and Lions Head fires in Santiam Pass are still very active.
Hard to believe it could be that dark in broad daylight. Farther down Highway 22 is Detroit Lake, and these are pictures from Fox 12's Janie Rios, who's the executive producer of More Good Day Oregon. She says her family was camping at Detroit Lake when they got the notice to leave early this morning. They said, get out. She says flames were flying across the road just past Mill City. We have some new video from the coast this hour that shows the fires in Lincoln County. The county is also under a state of emergency with at least 3 wildfires burning there. The 2 largest are the Echo Mount and Kimberling Mountain fires, both off Highway 18 near Otis. Highway 18, in fact, is closed at milepost 7 as flames have reached both sides of the road there. A smaller fire on Highway 34, which threatened homes, has now been contained. Great news there. Officials are asking everyone to shelter in place until you've been given an evacuation order. Our crews just spoke with one man about the effort to get those evacuees out.
People down here will help each other, and and that's what makes it really nice to live in this area. It's just a matter of them getting the fire under control.
Now, we do know there is a temporary evacuation point set up at Chinook Winds Casino there in Lincoln City. Highway 101 is also closed north of Little Whale Cove due to downed trees and power lines. And we also know one sheriff's patrol car was heavily damaged by a fallen tree. That deputy, though, is okay. We'll take you live to the coast to get a closer look at conditions coming up at the top of the hour.
And we've mentioned a lot of fires, so we want to take a step back and show you really where they are burning. This gives you an idea of just how many. This is the Oregon Emergency Management's wildfire map. You can see that across the area, there are now nearly 500 active fires that first responders are working to sort out. Also down near the California-Oregon border, we can tell you I-5 is closed. It's about a 40-mile stretch of the freeway from just north of the California border up to and including Ashland. So keep in mind, if you have travels to plan, take you south, that freeway is going to be closed. Here's where evacuation orders stand right now. Several communities in the Santiam Canyon area are under level 3 orders. Of course, that means get out now. They are Detroit, Lyons, Mahama, Mill City, Gates, Idana, North Fork, Brighton Bush, and 214 north of Silver Falls State Park.
In Lincoln County, North Deer Valley Road, Yodel Lane, Bank Road, Meadows Place, and Maple Drive are all under level 3 evacuation orders.
And if you go west, you get to Hag Lake, where firefighters just updated the information within the hour. Dundee Road is under a level 3 evacuation order, as are Southwest Patton Valley Road to Cherry Grove, Southwest Lee Road, and Southwest Cascara Road. That's near Henry Hag Lake. So the entire city of Cherry Grove is also under level 3 orders.
And late this afternoon, level 3 orders were issued for parts of the Malino area in Clackamas County. That includes Burns Road to Graves Road to Howard's Mill Road.
A lot to keep track of.
No kidding. Well, we will keep you posted on everything, though. But for now, we want to give you a live look. This is from Air 12 looking toward Malino and that fire in Clackamas County right now. Still a very active scene.
It's been hard getting really close to some of the major fires, as we've been telling you about, because visibility just hasn't allowed it. You know, they have certain restrictions that aircraft have to follow in order to safely operate. And we'd like to show you even some of the fires that are bigger than this. But as you can see, the sky is so dense right now with smoke. It's just not safe to get to those areas. Of course, we always want to be safe. Yeah. Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman joins us now, in fact, with a look at more of this Air 12 footage. Bonnie?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you know, the pilots up in the skies, they need at least 2 miles of visibility to be able to get the clear to go through some of these areas where we're seeing these wildfires. Again, this is a live look right now from Air 12. It's panning over, and we can see just those bright yellow and orange-red colors out on the horizon today. And while there were heartbreaking images that we're still seeing tonight, it was also a once-in-a-lifetime view from the skies, especially from above. First up, Malala, where crews were fighting several fires. One fire was burning at RSG Forest Products. That's a lumber mill, and you can see piles of lumber there on fire. Another fire destroyed at least one building near Will Hoyt Road and South Bird Road. In Canby, you can see an area with several hot spots. We spotted a fire close to a home, and at the time, crews had just arrived there. Then to Estacada, you can see a plume of smoke coming from the Riverside campground. In Washougal, crews were fighting a wildfire near Paradise Road and Northeast Rosemary Drive. And again, in Hag Lake in Washington County, that's closed right now due to another fire there. There was a level 2 evacuation order in place for Dundee Road. And level 2 means be prepared for a full evacuation. Be ready to move at a moment's notice. Our photographer and pilot say that the ride was very jolty up there in the skies in Air 12. Our photographer says he even hit his head nearly at the top of the cockpit. We'll, of course, continue covering these fires and bringing you live images from above if we can get them for you. Reporting live in studio, Bonnie Silkman, Fox 12 Oregon.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. What's been interesting to see is how the smoke has blown out of the Portland area for the time being, but it's still, as you can see, plenty windy out there. These are the flags flying there at Providence Park.
When I first woke up, I looked outside and saw some blue skies, and there was a sense of relief because last night was just so horrid out there with the
windy,
smoke
yeah,
and everything. And then come to find out, we're just in this little pocket.
And that's the first thing I did. I got up and I'm like, okay, where are the fires? What happened during the night? And I see it's all blue, and it's like far better.
Right.
And then I looked on the satellite imagery, and you could see we were just Portland's in a kind of a wedge between two different fires.
Yeah,
Areas of fire.
as far south as Salem, you run into a lot of smoke.
And yet, Seaside is stuck in the muck right now. That is all smoke. That's not low clouds. That's smoke out there.
Wow.
And 83 at Seaside. Even
Whoa.
that's a very warm smoky because they're getting the offshore wind flow, gusting to 30 out there from the east. In fact, look at. Yeah, there it is. There's that fire. It's called the Big Hollow Fire burning in the South Washington Cascades. That's the only one as of now burning up there. And look how there's a window. It's a finger of smoke that goes directly over Seaside. In fact, it looks like it's mainly clear at Cannon Beach and Astoria North and South, but Seaside's right under it. And if you go anywhere south of about Woodburn in the valley, you are in the thick smoke. We go through the afternoon, you see things haven't changed much with that easterly flow. So I think some of that thick smoke will work its way closer into the metro area tomorrow, so we'll be watching that pretty closely. And we're going to take a closer look at these big wildfires. By the way, so the biggest fire in Oregon, what we think is the biggest fire in Oregon right now, the Beachy Creek Fire southeast of Silverton, that is the spot of Oregon's largest fire. It happened at the end of the Civil War, almost 1 million acres. So we'll talk more about this coming up.
We're following the latest weather conditions as well right now.
Still ahead, we will show you even more, but check out this view of the skies from the Oregon coast. This is Depot Bay, the scene not too far from a wildfire burning near the community of Otis. As we mentioned, more photos and live coverage coming up.
Welcome back. We're following several local fires, and we keep getting incredible photos from you, our viewers. Check out this image of Kaiser baseball right here, continuing even with those smoky skies hanging overhead. S.J. Gaston describing the scene there as being surreal. And this was the view that someone had when they woke up in Albany. Skies were dark and orange through 9 a.m. And we are going to see a few more viewer photos coming up this hour. So please give us more updates on the weather conditions in your neck of the woods as well. And we'll see more in just a few minutes.
Now to the latest on COVID-19. Numbers from the Oregon Health Authority show 169 new cases of the virus today. The OHA also is reporting 4 new deaths. Mayor Ted Wheeler focused on the impact the pandemic is having on the Portland housing market. Back in March, the governor issued a moratorium on commercial and residential evictions, which got extended to September in June. That means it's set to expire at the end of this month. Renters will be required to pay rent and pay the rent they owed in previous months. Mayor Wheeler is proposing changes to a city ordinance so landlords would be required to pay to cover tenants' moving costs. He says so far, agencies, including the Portland Housing Bureau, have deployed $35 million in rental assistance. He says the city can't do it alone.
That's why I'm putting an ask in here for our state partners and our federal partners to continue to work with us to get our arms around the magnitude of this problem. With 120 to $125 million in back rent payment due, that's far more resource than the city of Portland can provide.
If you need rent assistance, you can reach out by calling 211.
Well, we are following these wildfires closely around our area, and so have you.
Still ahead, we're checking out some incredible photos from our viewers. There are a lot of them that offer a unique look at really what's happening today. Stick around for that.
And take a look at the live view from Newport. That's not Instagram. That is the live view. The orange sky there as the sun gets lower and goes through the smoke. 73 out there. Coastline looks really warm tomorrow if you can stay out of the smoke. That's coming up in our first live local forecast.
You're watching the 4 o'clock news. First, live, local.
I'm Stephanie Kralovich. It's no secret, this is a tough time for businesses to launch new products, but many are finding ways to succeed and save you some money. Lisa Robertson is here to show you one deal being offered right now.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and oh my gosh, you are going to want to hear this. This is the Clean Light Air. I love this, and right now I'm just thinking of how many I'm going to get, so here's why. This little device can clean a room up to 160 square feet. What do I mean by clean? I mean this cleans the air. There's a HEPA filter in here. It's a HEP 13 HEPA filter that cleans the air 360 degrees around. It actually takes 99% of the particles out of the air. Particles as small as smoke and dust and pet dander and pollen and all of VOCs and all those things nobody wants to be breathing in, takes them out, right? But then there's more, because after it goes through the HEPA filter, it goes through a UVC LED light that kills, wait for it, 99.99% of the bacteria and germs, takes out 99% of the bad particles, and then kills 99.99% of the bacteria and germs. This is a time when we're all trying to do those basic common sense things to make ourselves safer, make our families safer, make the people we love safer. Isn't it amazing that it can be as small and simple as this is? Oh, it even works for aromatherapy. You can use essential oils, make the air smell great, and charge your cell phone while you're using it. All of this is 25% off on localsteals.com. I wish I had more time because, oh my gosh, is it amazing. But trust when I tell you, you're going to want a lot of them. I know I do.
Welcome back. We want to get back to our wildfire coverage right now. Air 12 is flying near Colton. It's headed towards Santiam Pass. We're seeing some level 3 evacuations right now near the pass and also out west in Hag Lake. We've seen a lot of images from you, our viewers, today.
Many photos have been really eerie with orange and red skies, and at times it looks more like night than day in some spots, even around Salem. Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman joins us now in studio with a look at some wild viewer photos.
Yeah, really, Nora, some incredible yet heartbreaking images are pouring into the newsroom tonight. We've been sifting through many of them. Here's a look at just a few of them.
Take a look at this. Eliana in Salem sent us this ominous photo from inside her house. You can see that red light glowing through her door. Several other viewers sent us photos of that eerie red sky, including Elizabeth Young in Sublimity. She says this is what things looked like at 9 a.m. Another photo from there, this time from Mackenzie Anundi. How's this for a sunrise? We're told this was shot at 7 a.m. And Luke Anderson in Albany sent us this one looking out a window. He says it was taken just before 9. And out along the Oregon coast, here's a view from Penny Jacobson from Seal Rock. Picture after picture showing us that red sky. It's reminiscent of the total solar eclipse we saw just a few years ago. Many fires are popping up across the state today. We're trying to get as many visuals for you as possible for complete coverage. And we want to thank our Fox 12 viewers for sending in these photos.
And we have put up a slideshow on our website, kptv.com, so you can see that right here. Lots of images to go through. We also have an entire fire section, again, at kptv.com/wildfires. For now, reporting live in studio, Bonnie Silkman, Fox 12 Oregon.
Boy, time to do a 180 here. While we're seeing hot temperatures and fires, Colorado is getting a bit of weather whiplash.
Yeah, this is wild. Yesterday, Colorado saw temperatures in the 90s. Well, now it's seeing a record low with temperatures down in the 30s. The extreme weather is putting crops and livelihoods at risk. Yesterday, some farmers tried to harvest what they could. In addition to the dip in temperatures, there could even be some September snow. Just crazy.
By the way, this is directly related to that. I mean, basically, look at this, temperatures below average here. Some places like Colorado, 40 degrees below average.
Wow.
But that's cool, high pressure, so it's very dense and heavy air, and that's all pushing west over the Pacific Northwest. So basically we're getting, quote, cool air. And that will continue, although notice how the cool, we call it an anomaly, basically below average, kind of goes away over the next few days. So that's good news there, I suppose, for them. They're going to go back to like 80 in Denver in a few days. So that is the live view. We've not adjusted the color at all. It actually is that orange in Newport right now. You don't see this more than once every decade or two if fire smoke is directly over you, which you don't want. But 73 degrees, Newport's going to be very warm tomorrow. Although, if the smoke is too thick, that keeps the temperature down. In fact, Newport has been staying cooler than the rest of the coastline today due to the fire smoke. 81 up in Vancouver. And I mentioned the largest fire on record in Oregon did happen actually about where the Beachy Creek fire is, east of Silverton up in the Cascade Mountains. That was 1865. So it was only, what, just a few years after Oregon became a state. About 1 million acres. And here are some other huge fires. 1849, the Siletz fire, 800,000 acres estimated. In 1933, the Tillamook burn was huge, 240,000 acres, about double what just happened last night with the Beachy Creek fire. So before 1910, huge fires were pretty common because there were little or no fire suppression. You just got out of the way of the fires. Actually, that's kind of what's been going on today. But the largest this year appears to be that Beachy Creek fire, from just less than 1,000 acres to maybe about 200 square miles in one day down there. So that is crazy. Okay, you see the influence of the smoke right through here, 70s, but 80s farther north on the coast and 80s here in the valleys. If we get really thick smoke in the valley again tomorrow, which is likely, you might only stay in the 70s. And here's the biggie. We're going to turn hot away from the smoky areas tomorrow and Thursday, drop a few degrees Friday and Saturday, and then fall is on. We'll see, depending on how much marine air we get and how much cooling we get from any showers. These could be down in the upper 60s and low 70s. So I think that's a big story beginning Sunday, and if not Sunday, Monday. It's going to feel like fall, and real fall weather arrives. So cloud and rain forecast, you can see that surge of the ocean air coming up the coastline Thursday night and Friday, and that's what's going to help cool us off on Friday. We go a little farther ahead in time. We start to get into the morning clouds, afternoon sun routine over the weekend. That cools us off further. And then this model, pretty reliable, says actual rain on Monday and showers on Tuesday. So we'll see. If so, for Nora, it'll be pumpkin spice latte time for sure by Monday and Tuesday if that's the case. So smoky along the coast, very warm. If you get thick smoke like on the central coast, might stay in the 70s, maybe near 90 on the north coast without as much smoke. Real warm here in the valleys. If we get thick smoke, it may not be that warm in Salem and Eugene, always tough to forecast. In the gorge, breezy at the west end. The east wind continues, not as extreme though. Generally in the 80s there, mid to upper 80s. Mount Hood, breezy, patchy smoke up there, 75 at Government Camp. And then east of the Cascades, you're avoiding the big fires because this is all about Western Oregon for now, 70s to low 80s. And then the 7-day forecast, you see the big drop in the temps at the end. Finally, back to normal, and maybe a bit below next week. We'll see.
The protests in Portland have been going on for more than 3 months now, and crowds have gathered many nights at the North Precinct on Northeast Emerson, right next to the Blazers Boys and Girls Club. Because of the associated danger and damages, the club says it will have to close for the time being. Now, neighbors that we spoke with are questioning how the message of the Black Lives Matter movement can continue when it's causing so many problems for the community.
I don't know what the end goal is at this point. You know, something that a lot of people in the neighborhood and I relied on for after school stuff, and I understand with the COVID thing, but they also did, like, you know, food stuff. And had some good programs, and I don't know, it just made me angry when they were gonna close.
Right now, it's not clear when the Boys and Girls Club will even be able to reopen.
Still to come, online learning is a new concept for a lot of people.
But some local teachers are hoping a new project will help. We'll take a look at some of the ideas to help make the experience a little easier and more fun.
You're watching the 4 o'clock news. First, live, local.
As we mentioned, tens of thousands in the metro area were without power today following the big windstorm. That made it impossible for many students, even teachers, to log on to their virtual classrooms today.
And that's just one obstacle students are facing as they head back to school from home. Fox 12's Haley Rush shows us the tools available to students who are having a hard time adapting.
2 Portland Community College instructors made a series of videos on how to do online learning well, and they say part of that is having the correct technology and making sure it works.
Make sure you have access to a computer and internet and a backup plan in case you run into computer or internet issues.
Videos like this one are by Portland Community College instructors Jessica Bernards and Wendy Fresh. They're creating a series of videos for fourth graders up to college-age students on how to best learn online. That includes making sure you set aside time to learn new technology. Bernards and Fresh say use your device to log on to your class early and make sure everything is working and you know where everything is. They say if your internet connection is slow, try turning off your video camera if your teacher will allow it, because this can help with lagging video. And of course, if you run into any technology issues you can't fix, they say talk with your teacher right away.
It is a new thing for everybody, and also for your teacher as well. So your teacher understands, and if you have an issue with technology, have a backup plan to your backup plan. That's one thing that we really stress. And but if even that doesn't work, still reach out to your teacher because they want to help you.
Bernards and Fresh also say to check everything you turn in online to make sure it's submitted correctly. Because while technology can and will most likely fail, they say it's still your responsibility to make sure an assignment gets to your teacher. They also have a video teaching students how to use scan apps and turn assignments into PDFs. The instructors say they'll continue to make videos as topics pop up this year. If you'd like to see more of the videos, head to kptv.com. And coming up tomorrow morning, we'll take a look at online etiquette. Haley Rush, Fox 12 Oregon.
I think we had one or two non-fire stories in the newscast. That was kind of nice.
Sure was.
And with that, that's going to do it for us here on the 4 o'clock newscast on both Fox 12 and the Fox 12 streaming app.
Yeah, it's definitely a very busy news day. And with that, let's pass it over to Pete and Bonnie for the 5 o'clock.